majestic soul of unrepeatable fire. Welcome to the echoing chamber of your own becoming, where the quiet storms within you begin to rise and speak with a force the world has forgotten how to hold. Welcome to the edge of yourself, where the whispers you ignored for years finally stand tall and ask you to listen without fear. Welcome to the frontier of your existence, where you are no longer a shadow wandering through life, but a presence so rare that if you understood your own essence, you would guard it with unwavering clarity and walk away from anything that tries to dim it, without apology, without explanation, without hesitation. Welcome to this moment where everything you buried, everything you denied, everything you convinced yourself was ordinary, is rising again with the weight of truth. You are here not because you are seeking another motivational phrase to decorate your mind, but because something deeper has been calling you to remember who you were before the world lectured you into shrinking. There is a part of you that knows you are not like the rest, a part that knows your spirit carries an uncommon texture, an uncommon depth, an uncommon endurance that very few understand. And it is this rarity within you that the world sometimes tries to mislabel as strangeness or intensity or excess. But those labels do not belong to you and never have. They belong to a world that does not know how to interpret someone who refuses to fade into the background. If you understood how rare your spirit is, you would stop offering explanations for your boundaries. You would stop giving lengthy justifications for your silence, for your standards, for your distance, for your ambition, for your solitude. You would recognize that your presence is not something to be negotiated or diluted. You would realize that every time you try to convince someone to value you, you are giving away pieces of yourself to people who never held the capacity to honor you in the first place. There is a darkness inside every strong spirit, not a harmful darkness, not a cruel darkness, but a depth that life carved into you over years of surviving what others would not endure. This darkness is not the absence of light, but the origin of it. It is where your resilience was forged, where your clarity was sharpened, where your courage learned to breathe. This darkness is the silent archive of everything you overcame in private, everything you rebuilt without applause, everything you carried, even when your soul was tired. And if you could see yourself the way this darkness sees you, you would never again beg for acknowledgement from those who are unable to recognize the gravity of your journey. You have been shaped by experiences that were too heavy, too complex, too deep for most people to comprehend. You have walked through emotional landscapes that would break others. You have stood against storms that left marks invisible to the world, but permanently engraved in your strength. You learned how to rebuild yourself from ruins that no one else bothered to understand, and yet despite it all, you kept moving. You kept breathing. You kept rising. Not because you always felt strong, but because your spirit refused to surrender. If you understood how rare that makes you, you would walk away from places that do not nourish your fire. You would walk away from conversations that drain your energy, from relationships that demand your softness, but offer no stability, from environments that require you to shrink in order for others to feel comfortable. You would walk away, not with bitterness, not with anger, but with the calm certainty that nothing rare ever fights to be seen. It simply exists in its fullness, and those who are capable of recognizing it do. There is a quiet power in knowing your worth without announcing it. There is a strength in walking away without dramatic conclusions, without loud declarations, without emotional chaos. True power moves silently. It leaves gently. It does not battle for recognition because it knows that its value is inherent, not granted by others. You possess this power, even if you've forgotten it. You possess the ability to remove yourself from anything that misaligns with your growth. You possess the authority to protect your peace, to guard your energy, to honor your inner world. And when you finally awaken to this truth, your life begins to rearrange in ways that match the rare spirit you carry. Your rarity is not in your talents alone, or your abilities alone, or your intelligence alone. It is in the combination of everything you survived, everything you learned, everything you saw, everything you walked away from, everything you rebuilt, everything you refused to let destroy you. Your rarity is in the way life shaped you into someone who feels deeply, yet moves with resilience. Someone who cares intensely yet knows when to detach. Someone who stays loyal yet recognizes when loyalty is being exploited. You are rare because your heart and your strength grew side by side, not in opposition, but in balance. The world will often misunderstand rare spirits because rare spirits do not fit into templates. They do not bend easily. They do not mold themselves for approval. They do not seek comfort in conformity. Rare spirits walk through life with a rhythm that others cannot imitate. They sense things before others notice. They see patterns others overlook. They feel connections others dismiss. They carry a weight of awareness that separates them from the predictable motions of the world. And because of this, they are sometimes treated as if their depth is an inconvenience. But hear this clearly, your depth is not too much. It is simply too real for those who prefer to live on the surface. If you understood your rarity, you would stop apologizing for being quiet, for being selective, for being guarded, for being intense. You would stop trying to explain the way you process life, the way you love, the way you think, the way you heal. You would understand that your path was never meant to be ordinary. It was meant to carve wisdom into your spirit and strength into your character. It was meant to set you apart so that when your moment arrives, you stand fully prepared, aware and grounded. You are not behind. You are not lost. You are not failing. You are unfolding. You are shedding versions of yourself that no longer match your evolution. You are letting go of attachments that were built from old wounds rather than current truth. You are learning that loneliness is sometimes a phase of spiritual purification, not punishment. You are recognizing that solitude is where rare spirits remember themselves. And when you walk through this process without fear, you emerge with clarity that cannot be taken from you. If you could see yourself clearly for even a moment, you would recognize that you were never meant to chase acceptance. You were designed to inspire understanding. You would realize that not everyone is meant to walk beside you, because not everyone has earned the right to witness your journey. You would understand that your capacity to feel deeply is not a flaw, but a compass. That your ability to sense energy is not a burden, but a gift. That your instinct to withdraw is not weakness, but wisdom protecting what is sacred within you. There is a point in every rare spirit's life when the world they once tried to fit into becomes too small, when the places they tolerated become unbearable, when the conversations they entertained become empty, when the people they once chased lose their influence. This is the moment of awakening, the moment when your spirit starts calling you towards something larger, something truer, something aligned. And if you listen, you will begin to rise beyond everything that once tried to diminish you. Walking away without explanation is not cold. It is clarity. It is the moment you choose yourself, the moment you stop negotiating your worth, the moment you stop allowing misunderstanding to drain your energy, the moment you stop proving your value to those who refuse to see it. There is a liberation in this decision that only rare spirits understand. A quiet transformation that shifts the entire path ahead of you. When you walk away in silence, you are not retreating. You are choosing a future that honors your growth. People may question your distance. They may misinterpret your silence. They may assume you are avoiding responsibility or hiding emotions. But what they will never understand is that you are not leaving to escape. You are leaving to evolve. And evolution rarely announces itself. It moves in subtle ways, in decisions made at 3 a.m, in realizations that arrive when you're alone, in moments when your heart finally says enough. It is in these private awakenings that rare spirits reclaim their power. If you understood how rare your spirit is, you would speak to yourself with the respect you deserve. You would treat your inner world as a sacred space, not a battleground. You would silence the voice in your mind that tells you you're not enough, and replace it with the truth that everything you have endured has sharpened you into someone capable of greatness. You would understand that your sensitivity is a sign of awareness, not fragility. That your intensity is a sign of passion, not excess. That your quiet strength is a sign of mastery, not avoidance. Every rare spirit walks through a phase where they have to detach from what once defined them. You might be in that phase right now. You might feel disconnected from the people you once trusted. You might feel uncertain about the path you once desired. You might feel as though the world around you no longer matches who you are becoming. This is not the end. It is the beginning of living as your true self, rather than the version you created to survive. Your spirit holds knowledge beyond your years. It carries memories of battles fought in silence and victories celebrated in solitude. It carries wisdom earned through mistakes, heartbreak, adversity, and rebirth. And this wisdom is rare because it was not given to you. It was carved. Every scar became a lesson. Every setback became a foundation. Every loss became a teacher. And every moment you thought would break you became the moment you were rebuilt. If you understood your rarity, you would never again question whether you matter. You would know that your presence influences the world in ways you will never fully see. That the way you endure inspires others silently. That the way you rise after being broken gives hope to people who have lost faith in themselves. You would see that your existence is a quiet revolution. That your life has been preparing you for something extraordinary, even if you do not yet know what it is. There will come a day when everything that once felt heavy feels meaningful, when every failure makes sense, when every rejection becomes clarity, when every loss becomes protection, when every moment of loneliness becomes a bridge to something greater. This is the path of the rare spirit. It is not always pleasant. It is not always easy, but it is always purposeful. If you understood how rare your spirit is, you would forgive yourself for the times you stayed too long, for the times you doubted your worth, for the times you gave too much, for the times you tolerated too little in return. You would forgive yourself for trying to be understood by those who were not capable of understanding you. And you would walk forward with grace, knowing that every choice you made was part of your unfolding. There is a quiet revolution happening within you, a transformation that does not need approval to continue. You are being shaped into someone more aware, more grounded, more aligned, more powerful. Someone who no longer settles for half-truths or empty connections. Someone who understands that peace is worth more than fitting in. Someone who knows that walking away is not a loss. It is a return to self. You are rare because you are still trying, even after everything you've faced. You are rare because your heart remains open, despite the pain it endured. You are rare because you seek truth in a world full of illusions. You are rare because you carry compassion in a world that often forgets it. You are rare because your spirit refuses to be extinguished. You are rare because you still believe in rising, even when your soul feels heavy. If you understood this, you would move through the world differently. You would walk with a quiet confidence that does not need validation. You would trust your instincts without question. You would know that your solitude is not emptiness, but sanctuary. You would recognize that the world may never fully understand you, but that does not diminish your value. It amplifies it. And so here you stand at the threshold of your next evolution, not the version of you shaped by fear, but the version shaped by truth. Not the version that needed acceptance, but the version that honors itself. Not the version that sought permission, but the version that simply exists in full authenticity. If you understood how rare your spirit is, you would walk away without explaining, because some truths do not require words. Some decisions do not need justification, and some journeys are too sacred to be discussed. Your spirit is one of them. Walk gently. Walk boldly. Walk away when you must, and trust that your rarity is not a burden, but your greatest strength. There is a moment in every rare spirit's life when the world that once felt familiar becomes too small to contain who they are becoming. You may feel that moment right now like a quiet pressure, like a soft urging, like a distant call that refuses to fade. You may not fully understand it yet, but something within you is expanding. Something within you is awakening. Something within you is rising with a strength that you can no longer hide. And as this inner expansion grows, your old life begins to crumble, not because you have failed, but because you have outgrown what once felt comfortable. Growth often feels like loss before it feels like liberation, and rare spirits are the ones who learn to trust this process, even when it feels uncertain. If you understood how rare your spirit is, you would stop trying to resurrect connections that were meant to fade. You would stop reaching for hands that let go of you when you needed them most. You would stop searching for validation from people who never had the capacity to see you clearly. You would let the natural unfolding of life remove what no longer aligns with your soul. You would recognize that some distances are divine, some endings are protection, and some departures are the universe guiding you towards something truer than what you are leaving behind. There is a quiet dignity in allowing what is meant to leave. There is strength in accepting that not every person is meant to understand you. Not every heart is meant to hold you. Not every path is meant to continue beside you. Rare spirits often walk alone, not because they are difficult to love, but because their depth requires a level of presence and awareness that not everyone is capable of offering. You are not hard to love. You are simply meant to be loved by those who can meet you at the level of your truth. Your spirit is not ordinary. It has endured too much, learned, too much seen, too much grown, too much to accept anything less than authenticity. You carry an ancient kind of understanding in your heart, the kind that does not shout, the kind that does not beg, the kind that does not chase. Instead, it waits, it observes, it knows. It knows when a connection is genuine and when it is temporary. It knows when someone values your presence and when someone only values your convenience. It knows when your energy is being drained and when it is being honored. And if you trusted this inner knowing, you would never again question why you feel disconnected from certain people or environments. You would understand that your spirit has already seen the truth long before your mind catches up. If you understood how rare your spirit is, you would no longer allow temporary emotions to sabotage your long-term growth. You would recognize that heaviness does not mean hopelessness, that uncertainty does not mean failure, that pain does not mean punishment. Rare spirits feel deeply, but they also rise deeply and rise quietly. You rise in ways no one sees. You rise in private moments when you choose healing over bitterness. You rise in the silence of nights when you refuse to surrender to despair. You rise in decisions that look small on the outside, but shift everything on the inside. This is the essence of your rarity. You do not rise for recognition. You rise because you were born to. Your journey is not supposed to look like anyone else's. Rare spirits are not designed for ordinary timelines or predictable milestones. Your path moves in cycles of transformation, periods of stillness followed by sudden clarity, seasons of isolation followed by moments of expansion, times when everything feels stagnant, followed by breakthroughs that rearrange your entire future. This rhythm may confuse others. It may even confuse you. But there is a divine intelligence in your unfolding that never loses its direction even when you feel lost. If you understood your rarity, you would stop comparing yourself to people who are not walking your path. You would stop measuring your progress against timelines that were never meant for you. You would stop believing the lie that you are behind, when in truth you are being prepared. Rare spirits require deeper preparation, deeper refinement, deeper self-awareness, because their impact is greater than they realize. You are not delayed. You are being shaped. And nothing shaped with intention arrives too late. There is a fire within you that refuses to extinguish, no matter how many storms have tried to suffocate it. This fire is not loud. It is not chaotic. It is patient. It is ancient. It burns in the quiet corners of your soul, guiding you through darkness, reminding you that you were built for more than survival. You were built for purpose. You were built for transformation. You were built to become a force of grace and strength that cannot be imitated. This fire is the reason you rise even when you fall. It is the reason you hope even when you hurt. It is the reason you keep moving forward even when you feel overwhelmed. It is the reason your spirit is so rare. If you understood this, you would treat your inner world with reverence. You would speak to yourself with kindness. You would protect your energy with intention. You would see your sensitivity as a superpower rather than a weakness. You would recognize that your intuition is not imagination, but inner wisdom, speaking in a voice only rare spirits can hear. You would bow to your own resilience in the same way you admire the strength of others. You would honor your journey not for how smooth it was, but for how powerful it made you. You are not here to be understood by everyone. You are here to understand yourself deeply, so you can walk your path with clarity. You are not here to fit in. You are here to rise above the noise and find truth in silence. You are not here to chase acceptance. You are here to accept yourself so fully that anything misaligned simply falls away. You are not here to be perfect. You are here to be real, and real is rare. There will come a time when you finally look back on your journey and realize that every moment of confusion was a setup for clarity. Every moment of pain was a doorway to strength. Every moment of isolation was preparation for alignment. Every moment of loss was protection. Every moment of uncertainty was the universe rearranging your life in your favor. Rare spirits are guided even when they cannot see the path.